In just 4 years, one man's religious revolution created the largest empire in Africa after the fall of the mighty Songhai Empire. His name was Usman Dan Fodio, and by 1808, he had completely redrawn the map of what we now call northern Nigeria. But how did an Islamic scholar from a small Hausa state build an empire that stretched across West Africa and inspired holy wars from Senegal to Sudan? To understand this incredible story, we need to go back to the late 1700s. Ancient northern Nigeria was in chaos. The powerful Hausa states that had dominated the region for centuries were tearing each other apart in endless wars. Drought and famine were devastating farmers and herders. The Great Borno Empire, once mighty and proud, was politically weak and couldn't protect its people. Into this chaos came waves of Fulani pastoralists, fleeing even worse conditions in their homelands. But the Hausa rulers saw them as outsiders, people to tax heavily, not to protect, not as their own. Tension were boiling over. Meanwhile, Islamic scholars, the Malams, were watching all this unfold, asking themselves, where is the justice? Where is the righteous leadership? Many had grown disgusted with rulers who claimed to be Muslims but lived in luxury while their people suffered. Amongst these revolutionary thinkers was a brilliant Fulani scholar named Usman Dan Fodio, and he was about to change everything. Unlike any other Islamic scholar, Usman Dan Fodio was a member of the Qadiriya Brotherhood, a mystical Islamic order that believed in purifying society through righteous actions. By the 1790s, he had attracted a massive following of fellow clerics, Fulani clan leaders, and most importantly, the common people who were tired of corrupt leadership. But here is what made him dangerous to the existing order. He preached that true Islamic leadership meant justice for all, not just the wealthy elites. In 1804, everything exploded. It started in Gobir, where local authorities tried to suppress Usman Dan Fodio's movement. But instead of backing down, the scholar declared jihad, the holy war. What happened next shocked everyone. Unlike any other uprising, this was strings of simultaneous revolutions across the entire Hausa region. There was a vast underground network of Muslim revolutionaries that no one had fully realized existed. In just 4 years, 1804 to 1808, the mighty Hausa city-states fell one by one. Kano, the richest city in the region, Katsina, ancient seat of learning, Zaria, the great trading hub, all conquered by what outsiders dismissed as just some angry scholars. But Usman Dan Fodio wasn't just a conqueror, he was a state builder. By 1809, he had established his capital at Sokoto and created something unprecedented, the Sokoto Caliphate. Unlike any other African kingdom, it was a sophisticated federal system with 30 emirates across what is now northern Nigeria and beyond. When Usman Dan Fodio died in 1817, his son Muhammad Bello took over as Caliph, ruling from Sokoto while his uncle Abdullahi governed the western emirates from Gwandu. By the mid-1800s, this empire stretched 1,500 kilometers from modern Burkina Faso to Cameroon. It included the wealthy Hausa cities, controlled the crucial Nukwe territories, and even reached into Yoruba land, capturing Ilorin after Oyo's cavalry switched sides during a failed coup in 1817. But here is where everything gets truly mind-blowing. Usman Dan Fodio's revolution didn't stop at Nigeria's borders. His jihad-inspired Islamic uprising across West and Central Africa. New Islamic states emerged in Senegal, Mali, Ivory Coast, Chad, and even Sudan. Historians compare the impact of the Sokoto jihad to the French Revolution. Both were ideological movements that reshaped entire regions and inspired copycat revolutions for decades. The genius of Sokoto Caliphate wasn't just its military, it was inclusive. Yes, Fulani leaders dominated, but Hausa administrators ran the day-to-day government. Local customs were preserved under Islamic laws. Trade flourished because the empire provided security across the vast distance. The Sokoto Caliphate will remain the dominant power in northern Nigeria for the rest of the 19th century, right up until the British colonial conquest of the 1900s. Its legacy reshaped the political, religious, and cultural identity of northern Nigeria in ways we still see today. But here is a question that will blow your mind. What if I told you that the same British force that eventually conquered Sokoto had just decade earlier made a decision that would completely transform south of Nigeria and set up the economic condition that made colonial conquest possible? Drop a comment below if you want the next episode about how Britain's decision to ban the slave trade in 1807 completely changed Yoruba land and the Niger Delta. And follow for more untold stories of Nigerian history that will change how you see our past.